Hello there, and welcome to part one of what I'm calling the Small Web Deep Dive series. Um, trying to do, I don't see much of it talked about like on YouTube and Odyssey and some of the other places that I see people making videos online. Uh, this concept of the small web. Now, coming up on computers and the internet back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were forums, there was IRC, there were people's personal websites, people just sort of building stuff, making things, and coming together in these spaces where they were passionate about a thing and they grouped together in these spaces so that they could talk about the thing. And nowadays we have what I like to call the corpo web. If you ask any random person that might not know a whole lot about the internet and stuff like that, you'll see they seem to think the internet is just like 10 websites. You know, you got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, Reddit, that kind of stuff. And it's not really your space. You know, you're renting it, so to speak. You can do stuff there on those platforms. You can make accounts and you can post things, and you can do stuff, but you can't change it. You can't you can't go on a Facebook account, for instance, and make it your own. You know, you can put your pictures, your name, your posts, but that's all you can do. Same with like your Twitter, whatever else. So I wanted to talk a little bit in a few videos about the small web, and the first thing that I'm sort of focusing on is Gemini. And now Gemini is it's a protocol. It's a very minimalist protocol. Uh, it's an alternative to HTTP. And I don't want to overload you with jargon. So what I'm going to do is show you from the source sort of what Gemini is. So let me pull up real quick GeminiProtocol.net and read to you in the author's own words what Gemini is, and then I've got something else to show you, and then we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to show you my favorite Gemini browser so that you can get up and running on Gemini and reading Gemini sites, or as we call them, Gemini capsules. And then we're going to take a couple minutes to show you how easy it is to build a Gemini site of your own. So, Gemini in 100 words here. And this is on GeminiProtocol.net. I'll have the links to that down here in the description of this video. Gemini is a new internet technology supporting an electronic library of interconnected text documents. That's not a new idea, but it's not old-fashioned either. It's timeless and deserves tools which treat it as a first-class concept, not a vestigial corner case. Gemini isn't about innovation or disruption, but it's about providing some respite for those who feel the internet has been disrupted enough already. We're not out to change the world or destroy other technologies. We're here to build a lightweight online space where documents are just documents in the interests of every reader's privacy, attention, and bandwidth. Now, the important thing to remember, Gemini is text only. It's very minimal by design. There's no videos, there's no images. It's just you and the text and the message that the author was trying to convey. I'm not going to go into the FAQ in this video. I will link it, but if you want to see the FAQ for yourself, here it is. It's got the introduction and overview, all that good stuff. So you can read that. This is a lot to read. You can read this on your own if you really want to dive deep. But I will also link the FAQ in the video description. But I also have a write-up I've been working on. I'm going to go through everything in this video series that's mentioned here in this post. But I have on my personal site here, Open Platforms in the Small Web. And somewhere on here, yeah, here we go. Alternative internet protocols. Let me zoom in a bit. Maybe you want to change up how you view the internet and build on an even smaller protocol than what the bloated World Wide Web has become. There's an excellent alternative out there called Gemini, a highly minimal web experience that focuses on text content without images, videos, or other attention-stealing types of media. Gemini uses a stripped-down sort of markdown called Gemtext to build pages. It's very easy to learn and simple to get a Gemini capsule, the Gemini equivalent of a website, up and running on your own server. I'm going to do a rundown on setting up a presence on Gemini pretty soon in the wiki, and I'll have that link too, but the wiki is right here, and the small web section is here under the internet area of the wiki. So getting into it, back to that, let me go back to the main page there. Let's go to my terminal, and we will pull up this exact page in Amphora, which, like I mentioned, was the Gemini browser that I use. So Amphora, Gemini Protocol, GeminiProtocol.net, and this is the exact same page, you'll notice, as right here on the www version. And here's also the same FAQ. And I will show you, we also have our website, phossphones.com, which is the website that I run that focuses on Linux phones and privacy-focused AOSP ROMs. But to compare this page to that, let me also show you. Here's the same page on the regular web. So comparison, comparison, comparison. So how do you go from nothing to building one of these? So, like I mentioned in the wiki page there, Gemini is written, or Gemini capsules are written in, it's sort of, it looks a lot like Markdown. It's called Gemtext, and we're going to build a very simple little page using Gemtext. So let me exit out of this, and let me open up a new thingy here. Let me move me down a little bit too, so you can be able to read everything easier. Let's get a new pane going here, and Vim, well actually let's make a Gemini folder. Make directory Gemini and cd Gemini, and we will now, let's also cd to it in this pane. Okay, we will go into Vim and index.gmi, and we're going to build a very simple little Gemini page so you can sort of get an idea for what it looks like and how to do it and how simple it really is. It's very, very simple. So if you know anything about Markdown, this should click with you very quick. So the first thing we're going to do is make a heading / title kind of thing. Our test Gemini page. This is our test Gemini page. Welcome. Ways to do stuff. There's our subheading. Now the first thing we'll make is a bullet list. Here is a bullet list of items. And the way you make a bullet list is with asterisks. So asterisk, list item 1, list item 2, list item 3, etc., etc. And so on and so forth. So we have our bullet list there. Here is how to do certain things in Gemtext. Bullet lists. Next we will do block quotes. Whoops. here is how we make a block quote. We do a greater than sign, and we can quote things like this. So, very simple. The next thing we'll do is code snippets. We can also make code blocks like this. So how this is done, this can depend on the Gemini client. Amphora will properly render it. So you use 3 backticks, and we'll do a very quick little bash snippet. So we'll do sh, we'll do user bin env bash, title Gemini test, and we will echo that, and that's it. We will close it with 3 more backticks, and that is a code snippet. And finally, links. Here is how we make links. And links are also very simple. You equal sign, greater than sign, and then the link that you want to go to. So let's say I want to link you to the Phosophones Gemini capsule. Gemini : / phosophones.com, and that will link you straight to Phosophones. And for the title of the link, Phosophones on Gemini. And we'll link one more. Gemini, we'll link to the Gemini protocol site. And there's a few links. And that's a Gemini test page. So let's save it. And over here, let's pull up Amphora index.gmi, and here it is. Here's our test Gemini page. Welcome, ways to do stuff. Bullet lists. There's your bullet list, so you can see it's properly bulleted. There's your block quote. There's your code snippet, as you can see, has syntax highlighting. There's links, and so let's say I want to follow the link. I just number 1 there. Easy peasy. So let's pull that up one more time, and you can compare it here real quick. Here's the code, and here is the page itself on Gemini. So couldn't be easier. It's very, very easy to set up. You can go crazy with this. It's just very easy. Gemini is great. It's minimal. It's bloat free. There's clients. There's GUI clients. There's Crystal, Lagrange. I think there's one in GTK called Castor. There's a bunch of. There's also some for Android and iOS. The one I use is called Dedum, but I can also just use Amphora on my phone through Termux. So it's couldn't be easier, like I said. I just wanted to show you how easy it can be to set up a Gemini page there, and hopefully you build something out if you think it's cool. In a future video, I think we'll probably go through some more Gemini resources. I'll show you like the Gemini search engines. There's one called Kennedy. And there's even a little social network on Gemini that's kind of interesting that we'll also look at. But that's pretty much it. It couldn't be simpler to get started on Gemini. Let me show you one more thing real quick while I'm thinking about it. Our Gemini capsule on Phosophones uses this it's called Agate or Agate, however you pronounce it, as the Gemini server, and we might make a video where we go through how to set that up, but this is just a very brief introduction into Gemini. I will link this. I will link the wiki page that I showed you earlier. This is kind of what we're going to be going through in some of the other videos, like micro communities, federated protocols, like ActivityPub and Nostr, Fediverse, stuff like that. But yeah, that's Gemini in a nutshell, and that was part 1 of our small web video series. So thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something about Gemini. I hope you get something built, your own Gemini capsule. And in the next video, we'll probably talk about personal websites and show you some of the simple building blocks of writing in HTML and CSS and stuff like that. But if you build a Gemini capsule of your own, or if you already have one, mention it in the comments down below and I'll be happy to check it out. Maybe we'll even take a look at viewer submitted Gemini capsules in a future video where we go through a deeper Gemini dive. But this was just a simple explainer on Gemtext and how to get up and running. And thanks for stopping by again, and we will see you in the next video.